Welcome back, everybody. Tonight, a police detective shows us how a little care goes a really long way. She says she got into law enforcement to change lives.
The Lawrenceville detective sits down exclusively with CBS 46's Trayson Bragg to share a story that really, Trayson, has touched all of our hearts.
It's a heartfelt story, a story Detective Dina Pauley hopes reminds us all to choose compassion before judgment.
Somebody likes his radio.
It's Mr. Bob.
Mr. Bob's days weren't always full of joy.
He struggled his entire life. It was a hard life.
Detective Pauley says she first met Mr. Bob about 2.5 years ago. She was on patrol when he flagged her down.
He couldn't speak. When I took out a pad and a paper and asked him to write what he needed, and he just scribbled.
But somehow a bond developed.
326 radio.
Pauley began checking on Mr. Bob on her daily patrols. One day, a call came in on the radio. Mr. Bob was causing a scene at a local pawn shop. Pauley says she arrived and calmed the situation. She offered to drive Mr. Bob home.
When he opened the door, it was quite a shock. It was, when I say inches of trash on the floor, you couldn't see any part of his floor throughout the entire apartment.
She later learned Mr. Bob had no family. He was alone and homeless since the age of 14. Pauley decided she had to help turn things around.
Once the trash was cleaned out, I recruited some of my friends, and we got on our dirty clothes and gloves and just started scrubbing floors and bathrooms.
She taught him how to take care of himself, paid for monthly haircuts and manicures, even found him a few friends. Then, out of nowhere, Mr. Bob's health took a turn for the worse this March. Constant trips to the hospital became pointless.
Due to the fact that Bob cannot communicate, and due to the fact that Bob has no family, the hospital is very limited in what they can do because no one can consent to testing.
So Pauley stepped up again. She fought to gain power of attorney for Mr. Bob's medical treatment. She won several weeks ago, but was too late. His lungs were damaged to the point of no return. Monday, the decision was made to put Mr. Bob in hospice care.
Well, yesterday at 4:20, Bob passed away. He had made it one day in hospice.
Though visibly shaken by his death, Pauley says she believes Mr. Bob is finally in a better place.
What a tough life that Mr. Bob had. And Detective Pauley coming in kind of shining a light for his best days toward the end. How does she feel about what she was able to do for Bob?
Well, she feels great. I mean, obviously, she cared deeply for Bob. She's happy that, as you said, she got to make those final days happy. So she's happy about that. But again, he just had such a tough life.
But to see a first responder step in and not be his relative, not have any type of familial tie, and to really step up in the way that she did really shows a lot of bravery, and certainly she's heroic in my eyes. Thank you, Trayson. It's a great story.